This show just continues to be one of the greatest shows that I've ever watched, and I'm saying that with all sincerity. This week's episode was wonderful. There were just some very heartfelt yet super sad moments, and I love it so much. I just love this show. So, I haven't liked the character Willa for pretty much the entire series, but I did see a little bit different version of her in this week's episode. I can kind of understand her in some ways, but in other ways I'm still kind of like, this is just not normal. But she swears that she just wanted her family to be normal again. She wanted things to be like they used to be. She was, thinking about what it would have been like if her brother hadn't been abducted, if he came back that day, if she got to see him go to prom and just live a normal life. So she's trying to explain to her mom that she did not tell this other person to pretend to be Adam because of her, winning the election to be governor. She swears that's the truth. And, I think deep down, she really does kind of mean that. I think she really thought that everything would go back to normal if only they believed that Ben was Adam. What do you guys think about that? And thumbs up if you thought this episode was incredible, because I totally thought it was. So I guess my very favorite part of this episode was seeing Ben and Adam grow up together in a terrible situation underground. I love the scenes of them together. I love seeing them as young boys and as teenagers. It broke my heart completely. I love the fact that they would pretend that things were so much better than they were. And the scene that really was riveting was when Ben was trying to escape from Doug and he almost didn't make it, and I just was like on the edge of my seat with that. Even though I knew he was going to make it, it was just a wonderful, wonderful scene. I love that so very much. So, and something else that really made me sad was when they had been trying for years, the boys, to break out of that underground area, and they were just digging and digging and digging, and finally they found out one day that it was going to lead nowhere and that they couldn't escape, and that just made me so sad. Here's the thing though, we noticed that Adam was getting sick, and I don't know if that's because he wasn't eating or because he did have an illness and he was obviously never seeing a doctor. And Doug told Ben that he had died, and I truly believed while watching the episode that that was a lie and that Adam was alive and that we would see him, in a future episode. But sadly, Jenna Bans, who created the show, confirmed in an article or in an interview that he actually did die, and that completely breaks my heart, because I've always been hoping that the real Adam was still alive and would play a role in this show eventually, and would also reunite with his family eventually in this show. And I guess that's just not going to happen. So I think one of the biggest questions that I've had for a while now about this show is Hank, and what is his deal? Because we know he's much more than just a falsely accused kidnapper and a person who has some sexual issues. He is going to play a huge role in the show, and I just don't know how. I've heard some things that he may have helped, or he may help them find Doug in future episodes. So I don't know what his connection is to Doug. I don't know if he was working with him at one time, if he maybe still is, if he helped him to abduct kids. I would love to hear what you think about it, because I think this is going to be a huge reveal for this show, and I can't wait. I'm also super excited because someone involved with the show, I think it was an EP, said that the finale for this show, we have 5 episodes left, the finale is going to include, we're going to end with a major cliffhanger asking us, leaving us with a big question, and I just cannot wait to see what that's going to be, because I know it's really going to be epic. So here's the thing, we got to see that when Ben escaped, he wanted to go to Adam's house, because part of this I don't understand. He claims he doesn't have anyone. I'm very confused by why he didn't go looking for his family or go to the police to ask where he could find his family. There's something missing here and something a bit shady with Ben. Love to know your thoughts on this as well. But anyway, he shows up at Adam's house and he runs into Willa. He tries to tell her the story that he was, being kept with Adam for all these years, and she's not buying it until he finally gives her enough information. So she's like, yeah, okay, I think you actually knew him. So she helps him. She puts him in a motel, buys him some things, feeds him, and she decides that, if she could get her family to believe that this was really Adam, then maybe things will go back to normal. Maybe her parents won't divorce. I really think she believed this. And so he's going to go along with it. But then at some point she's like, you know what? This is stupid. This is not going to work out. No one's going to buy this. She gives him $10,000 cash, and she kind of just leaves him on the side of the road, which was not very nice, but she wants him to go off and have his own life, and that's enough money to do it. And he at this point doesn't know what to do because he literally has no one. Again, I don't understand why he has no one. Several of you think he could actually be Doug's son. I know that sounds crazy, but that at least makes some sense. I don't know if he was a kid that Doug didn't want and he punished him by putting him down there. I have no idea what the story could be. But if not, there's something else going on. He's not just some random kid who was abducted, because I think anyone would want to go off and search for their family, even, you know, if not just to let their family know that, hey, I'm actually alive, because they probably would think that he was dead. So I don't know what we don't know about him. We see that Hank tries to kill himself in prison back in the past. Of course, he doesn't go through with it. Still don't understand him, because he had, you know, the mittens of Adam's in his attic. He was trying to hide those. There's so much more to Hank, and I'm so excited for those types of reveals. So I really enjoyed how we kind of got to backtrack and go back to episode 1 of this series and see from a different point of view the day that Adam returned. The funny thing is, at this point, Willa thought that he would be gone from their lives, and he decides that he wants to be Adam, that he can pull it off. So he shows back up without her knowing, and she's like, no, this is not going to work. You can't do this. And it kind of creeped me out when he was insistent that he was Adam. He was like, look, I am Adam now. Kind of weird. So I'm still thinking, you know, like I've said, something's just not right with this kid. That's not normal. It bothers me that he wants to pretend to be Adam. Like, why? I don't understand. What I think should have happened is he should have come clean. He should have been like, you know, I was his best friend for 10 years. I know so much about him. We were like brothers. I don't have anyone, you know, and then maybe Claire and her husband would have adopted him or just treated him like a son. I'm sure they would have taken care of him for as long as they could have. And then everyone would be telling the truth, you know? So, the ending. I kind of figured this was going to happen. It looks like we don't know which way it's going to go, because we know at this point we're back in present day, and we know that Claire knows that he's not Adam. Willa knows he's not Adam, but everyone else thinks that he is Adam. So she reunites with him after he comes home from the hospital, and I really had a feeling that she was going to accept him, but she could have gone the opposite way and yelled at him and said, you know, like, you're not my son. She walks up to him, she hugs him, and she welcomes him home. So here's the deal. Is she going to continue with this lie to pretend that he is Adam? Is he going to keep on pretending he's Adam? Are they going to tell the dad and the brother that he's not Adam? How much longer can they pretend that he's someone he isn't? And why are they doing that? Because I have a real problem with it. If he's going to keep pretending to be Adam, if the mom's going to keep pretending, you know, that he's her son when she knows he isn't, especially if the other family members find out and they're pretending, it's all just too creepy and it's wrong, and I would love to know what you think about that. Wow. So I'm so excited to see where the show is going to go, because it's just been phenomenal so far. I have a live chat every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on this show. That info is down below. We have some great discussions about the show, so if you haven't been to one of those and you can make it, I would love for you to do that. But if you can't make that time, I always have those as videos on my channel, so you can go and watch it and leave your thoughts, and I will get back to you. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Kelly TV. I'll see you next time.